Let me tell you something that, for once, has nothing to do with bad news. If you're a UK pensioner, there are 3 separate payments landing this year with your name on them. 3 lots of money you may be entitled to right now. And here's the frustrating part. Most people watching this will miss at least one of them. Not because they don't qualify, but because nobody has ever sat them down and said, in plain English, this is yours, go and get it. For months now, all you've heard is the hard stuff. Tax thresholds frozen, energy bills climbing again this July, the bank watching your account. So I completely understand if you've started to expect nothing but trouble whenever someone talks about pensioner money. But today is genuinely different. Every single thing I'm about to tell you puts money back into your pocket, not out of it. And the third one is so new that almost nobody has caught on to it yet. So please stay with me right to the end, because that's the one I'd hate for you to miss. I'm Edward. Every day I read through the UK's pension and benefit rules and explain them in plain English, checked against gov.uk, so you can keep more of what you've earned. Let's get straight into the first one. I'm starting here because it's the biggest, it's real money, and there's a good chance you think you're not getting it, when in fact, this year, you are. Here it is plainly. If you're over state pension age and your income is £35,000 a year or less, you'll receive a winter fuel payment of up to £300 this year to help with your heating. And for most of you, it arrives automatically. You don't apply, you don't fill in a form, you don't ring anyone. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because you'll remember what happened. A couple of winters ago, this payment was stripped away from nearly every pensioner in the country. Unless you were on pension credit, you got nothing. People were hurt, and they were angry, and understandably so. Here's what almost nobody has told you clearly. It's back. It's been given back to around 3/4 of all pensioners, and a great many people still assume it's gone, so they're not expecting a penny new, when the money is quietly on its way to them. Let me put the real numbers in front of you. The payment is £200 for most households, and it rises to £300 where someone in the home is aged 80 or over. It's paid straight into your account, usually in November or December, and it's completely tax-free. Now, the one catch, because there's always one, and I won't do my job properly if I hide it, that £35,000 figure is based on your own taxable income, not your household's and not your savings. It doesn't matter how much you've got in the bank or whether you own your home. The only question is whether your taxable income, your state pension, any private or works pension, any earnings, comes in at £35,000 or under. For most pensioners, it comfortably does. And if you happen to sit just above that line, the payment still arrives. It's simply adjusted back later through the tax system. So either way, there's nothing to chase. But I have to give you one warning here, because this payment being back in the news means the scammers are out in force. So let me be absolutely clear. Nobody official will ever text you, email you, or ring you asking you to claim your winter fuel payment, or asking for your bank details to send it. The real payment comes automatically. So if a message tells you to click a link or hand over your details to receive it, that's a criminal, and you delete it on the spot. The genuine money reaches you without you lifting a finger. That's exactly how you tell the difference. So that's the first one, up to £300, back again, and most pensioners don't even realize it's returned. But it's only the beginning, because the second payment is money a great many of you are leaving on the table right now without ever knowing it was there. This one is £150, and it comes straight off your electricity bill. But unlike the first one, it isn't always automatic, and nobody goes out of their way to tell you about it, which is exactly why so many people who are entitled to it never see it. It's called the Warm Home Discount, a £150 reduction on your winter electricity costs. Not a loan, not something you pay back, just £150 knocked off what you owe. And for anyone counting every pound through the cold months, that's real money. Here's who gets it, and I want you to listen closely because this is where people wrongly count themselves out. If you receive the guarantee part of pension credit, you qualify automatically. But, and this is the bit that matters, you can also qualify simply by being on a low income with higher energy costs, even if you're not on pension credit at all. The rules here have been widened, so more households fall inside them than ever before. The catch is that if you're in that second group, you may need to make sure your energy supplier knows, rather than assuming it'll just appear. So here's your action, and it's simple. Contact your energy supplier or check your account and ask one plain question. Am I getting the Warm Home discount? And if not, do I qualify? That single question could be £150 back in your pocket this winter. And while you're at it, there's something that sits right alongside it that I don't want you to miss. A great many pensioners on modest incomes are also entitled to a reduction in their council tax, and this is one of the most underclaimed things in the entire country. If you're on pension credit, that reduction can be very large. In some cases, your council tax falls to nothing at all. And even if you're not, many councils will still reduce the bill for a pensioner on a modest income. Like the Warm Home discount, they won't chase you to offer it. You have to ask. So when you make that one phone call, ask about both, the Warm Home discount with your energy supplier and a council tax reduction with your local council. And do ask whether either can be backdated, because in many cases it can, which could mean a lump sum coming back to you on top of the saving going forward. It's always worth asking. The worst they can say is no. Now, before I get to the third one, if this is proving useful, do me one small favor and tap subscribe, because the next payment is the newest of the lot, and it's the one that could quietly unlock everything else I've mentioned today. The third is brand new for this year, which is exactly why so few people know about it. Now, I know the moment I say the words pension credit, some of you will start to switch off, because you've been told 100 times that you earn too much, or you were turned down years ago, or that it's not for people like you who saved and were careful. Please stay with me, because what's changing could open a door you were sure was shut for good. From this year, the government is bringing housing support into pension credit for new claimants, something called the pension credit housing element. In plain English, it means pension credit is being widened to help cover certain housing costs that used to be handled separately under a different benefit altogether. Why does that matter so much to you? Because every time the rules around pension credit are widened, more people who were just outside it get pulled inside. And pension credit is the single most important gateway benefit there is. The moment you qualify for even a small amount of it, even a single pound a week, a whole row of other doors swings open behind it. Your council tax can be reduced. You get help with NHS costs. You qualify for that warm home discount I just mentioned. And once you reach 75, your TV license becomes free. So a small change to who qualifies for pension credit is never really a small change at all because of everything that comes attached to it. That's why this quiet new element matters far more than its dull name suggests. And here's the thing I really want you to hear. I've lost count of the people who tell me with complete certainty that they checked pension credit once, years ago, were told they were a few pounds over the line, and never looked again. And I understand, being turned down once is enough to put anyone off. But the rules are not frozen in time. They shift, they widen, the thresholds move. A household that didn't qualify 3 or 4 years ago can easily qualify today without anything in their own life having changed. So if you've ever been turned down, or you simply never applied because you assumed there was no point, this is the year to check again. And the best way isn't to guess. There's a free pension credit calculator on gov.uk, and there are kind, patient people at Age UK and Citizens Advice who'll sit with you and work it out for nothing. No pressure, no judgment. It costs you nothing to find out. And if you do now qualify, the difference, once everything attached to it is counted, can run into thousands of pounds a year. Before I bring this together, let me say one thing plainly, because it's the thread running through all three. Around 1 in 3 pensioners in this country don't claim everything they're owed, not because they aren't entitled, but because nobody told them, or they assumed they earned too much, or a little bit of pride got in the way of putting their hand up. So let me gently say this. There is no shame whatsoever in claiming any of this. You paid into this system your entire working life. This isn't a handout, and it isn't charity. It's your own money coming back to you, money you earned through every year you worked and paid in. And the only people who benefit when you stay quiet are the ones holding on to it. Now stop for a moment and add all three together, because stacked up, the size of it becomes clear. Up to 300 pounds from the winter fuel payment, 150 pounds off your electricity from the warm home discount, potentially hundreds more off your council tax. And if this new change brings you inside pension credit, the door to thousands of pounds a year and further help that hangs off it. For a pensioner or a couple getting by carefully, that's not loose change. That's the difference between dreading the winter and getting through it in comfort. So quickly, where you stand. 1. The winter fuel payment is back, up to 300 pounds for nearly every pensioner on 35,000 pounds or less, and for most of you, it arrives automatically. 2. The warm home discount is 150 pounds off your electricity, and a council tax reduction can take hundreds more off, but both usually need one phone call. And 3. Pension credit has been widened this year, so if you ever assumed it wasn't for you, this is the year to check again, because it's the key that unlocks all the rest. So before I go, do one thing for me. If you have a son, a daughter, a neighbor, anyone over 60 you care about, send this on to them today. There'll be people in their lives sitting on money that's rightfully theirs, with no idea it's waiting. One message from you could put a few £100s back where it belongs. And if you want to know exactly how to spot the scams I mentioned, because they're targeting pensioners every single day right now, I've made a video on precisely that, and it's on the screen for you now. Go and watch that one next, before anyone tries it on you. I'm Edward. Everything here is general information, checked against gov.uk, to help you keep more of what you've earned. It's not personal financial advice, so always confirm your own situation with the official line. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.